Hello, I'm here with the team behind Plainclothes. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Carmen Emmi. I'm the writer and director.
I'm Maria Dizzia. I play Marie.
I am Russell Tovey. I play Andrew.
I want to start with you. I wanted to kind of ask what the genesis of this project was and kind of how it got to here.
Yeah, I wanted to write a film. I've always wanted to direct, and I didn't have a script or an idea of what I really wanted to do. And in 2016, I read an article in the LA Times about undercover police officers who were luring and arresting men in a public bathroom and essentially getting them to expose themselves, and they would be arrested for indecent exposure. Coincidentally, around this time, I was in the process of at the end of coming out, I would say. So I was really picking up, I feel like, the pieces of 20-something years of just suppressing my feelings. And at the same time, my brother was becoming a police officer. And so through my conversations with him and processing my feelings, I started free writing, and the character of Lucas came from all of that. And ultimately, I knew I wanted to tell a story about what it felt like to police your feelings.
Gotcha. That's lovely. I kind of wanted to know how you guys came on board and what attracted you to this specific story.
Maria? A couple of things attracted me to the story. One of the things is in reading it, how Carmen was able to weave three genres together, that it begins and starts to feel like a thriller. One of the things that Carmen and I connected on was our love of the movie The Conversation. Oh, yeah. And when I was reading it, I felt I saw echoes of that. But then I was so surprised about how the elements of this family story came in, and then also the romance. And so I was so impressed how this screenwriter was able to weave all of these things together, and that made me really want to be a part of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the character. That's what I'm drawn to initially, and then it's the dialogue and the world, and the relationship that Carmen created between Lucas and Andrew was just so intoxicating, and I felt like I had to be in that world. You just know, sometimes you pick up a script and you know within minutes if you want to do it or not, and this was definitely one of those ones that I knew I wanted to do.
Gotcha. And I like the reference to The Conversation. I love my 70s hard-boiled. I love Taking a Pelham 123.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, as soon as Maria said it on the Zoom, I was, I think I walked off camera, and I was like,
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I was like, she's
I was just talking to a bureau.
I was like, she's the one. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to hear, I like that you say three genres, and I feel like so many of the movies that are here this year and every year are usually so hard to define and take so much, there's so many different genres that you could plug into each. So I was curious why you think that this movie belongs here, and if the mixing of genres plays into that at all.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm not sure how it belongs here, I suppose. I mean, I feel really lucky to be here.
Yeah.
I think the use that we use high 8. I used high 8, which is basically like a VHS kind of aesthetic to express Lucas's anxiety, and I feel like that alone kind of captures the spirit of Sundance in some ways. I used a lot of there's so many. We shot on so many different cameras in this movie. We shot in 18 days. It was a truly it was a truly independent production, and it was just made with a lot of love. And I feel like I've been feeling a lot of love at Sundance, and so in that sense, I suppose it belongs for that reason.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to take a stab at that one?
We think it belongs here.
Gotcha. Lovely.
We're very proud.
Well, I was going to say, lucky for you guys, it's here. So there's no more work to be done.
We're so proud of it, and it was an experience that was filled with love. We've only met today. Our storylines never crossed over.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, so we've met today, and already we're best friends. Yeah. And there was a lot of love on set. So the fact that we're here with a project that was filled with love is just a real privilege.
Gotcha. I kind of wanted to turn this to storytelling as a whole, and I wanted to ask if there were any filmmakers, authors, writers, anything like that were an inspiration for you for this specific project.
Oh yeah, The Conversation was kind of how I learned how to write a screenplay, I would say.
Oh wow, cool.
I really just read that over and over and broke it down. And so Francis Ford Coppola, I would say The Remains of the Day, a book by Kazuo Ishiguro, was the way that he handled the longing and the duty versus wanting to follow your heart. I thought that was beautiful. That's a theme in our movie.
I've never read the book.
of Remains of the Day.
Yeah, I've only
it's
seen the
amazing.
movie's depressing as hell. I love it, but yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Listen to it on Audible.
Gotcha. Love that plug. That's gonna be a
Where am
loop.
I?
Yeah.
Sofia Coppola, another huge inspiration. Yeah.
Tony Kushner, Angels in
Oh
America.
yeah, Angels in America. Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah, and when I saw Angels in America in New York in 2018, the Marianne Elliott version, I knew I had to write this screenplay. And coincidentally, Russell was in the London production. And
Gotcha.
so I watched the recording while I was writing this, and I was imagining Russell as Andrew, and now we're at Sundance.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
that's
crazy.
awesome.
It's really crazy.
Speaking of Audible, I will make the segue. I know that you guys have recorded for Audible before, so I was curious if you wanted to speak to like the experience of doing voice work versus performance work, whether on the stage or on screen.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, it was just like a godsend I felt during COVID. Like, it was so great. Like, you got this like suitcase filled with all of the equipment, and suddenly you're just like in this little box creating a world. And so, it feels like in some ways, it's like that connective tissue between reading a script and having it realized visually is that like getting to act out a script only orally feels like you're kind of getting to play out that what you do as an actor in a way. You know what I mean?
Are
Like
you still acting physically while doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally. It helps so much. I think I started out not doing that, and then I discovered that it's a lot easier to like have fake fights and do things and
Yeah.
turn around. But what's so nice about it is that the visual, rather than being something shared, is actually this really private, personal thing. And I think that actually gets like conveyed through the language, and why you can hear the intimacy in people's voices when they're conveying that. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm so inspired by how many people digest books and plays through Audible, through audiobooks. It's huge, and podcasts. I mean, I'm so surprised by it, how it's become this phenomenon. I think it's a really beautiful thing, and as performers, as actors, it's another medium that you can really exercise yourself through and really single out the voice when the voice becomes the purest element of what you're doing. It's quite magical. It's really, and you're just in that booth with that microphone, and you send play acting and fighting and stuff. I'm always knocking the mic. They have to keep going back. But having that sort of one-on-one with the editor and the microphone, and then considering trying to create this world through your voice is always so exciting.
I just wanted to say that part of my nighttime routine for like the past 2 months has been listening to Barbara Streisand's memoir, and she just calms me down. And
Does she sing it all in it?
She does.
Oh,
They're
that's
saying,
lovely.
they're saying there's like old recordings of hers from her archives that you get to hear, and it's just like her beautiful, soothing
She ad-libbed
voice.
a bit, didn't she?
And she ad-libs.
She sort of goes, "Let me tell you more about this story." and it
Yep,
does it.
100%.
Yeah,
It's
love that.
great.
What a lovely way to fall asleep to Barbara Streisand.
Yeah, it's really excellent.
No, I was just gonna say that our composer does that as well. I hope I'm not like oversharing, but she listens to Barbara Streisand.
Also Barbara.
The audiobook.
Yeah.
I heard it's amazing. I have
It
to listen
is
to
Now
it.
I also
amazing.
have to listen to
No,
it.
you just
Yeah.
feel like you're also like being infused like with her confidence and stuff. It's really great. I love it.
Oh, is there anything that you guys are listening to right now that you'd like to share? I do like the Barbara shout out.
I want to listen to Barbara Streisand
Okay.
now because this sounds incredibly inspiring.
Yeah, I'm listening. The woman, Michelle Williams reading "The Woman in Me."
Oh, the Britney Spears
The Britney
one?
Spears, yeah.
How is that?
I mean, amazing. It's Michelle Williams
Yeah.
reading Britney. Like
Fantastic.
how iconic.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Anything else?
There will be lots I'm trying to discover.
Gotcha. And I also wanted to ask if there are any queer books, anything like that you'd like to recommend.
Ooh, queer books.
Wow. Yeah.
Ooh. Well, I mean, I read as soon as I finished the first book. It's heavy. It's called The Band, and the Band Played On.
I don't know that one.
I'm blanking on the author, which is so embarrassing, but he basically was just recounting everything that was going on during the AIDS epidemic,
Yeah.
and just basically it's a look at how our institutions in some ways kind of failed us at that time. It's heartbreaking. He actually passed away from AIDS as well. I read a book called Cruising. I'm also blanking on the author of that, but yeah, it's yeah, that was really helpful in research for this, of course.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I wanted to end with is, do you think that this could possibly translate to the audio format, this movie?
Oh, interesting.
Because I do like what you were saying about using different cameras, but I'm curious if you were to make it in a different way for an audio format,
I mean,
how you
the
would get
high
it.
eight, the glitch could be a noise, because there is a noise that
Right.
runs through it, isn't it? That
Yeah.
creates that tension and the anxiety and the paranoia.
Yeah, and I think that there's whole like that radio tradition of like the shadow and stuff like that, you know,
Yeah.
of like there being like police and invested, right? I mean, that was such
Yeah.
like a huge thing
Yeah.
in radio is listening to those stories.
Really build tension.
I think it could be translated. I mean, the use of the high eight, I wanted it to represent like my feelings on anxiety and how it's kind of like these rushing thoughts in your mind. And I think if one were to describe what those images were and like read it in a certain way, I feel like it could really get that anxious feeling across as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see it, and especially knowing that you shot with different. I geek out about that stuff, the lenses, everything like that.
Yeah, I think it was
that's-
like 4 cameras or something, like 4 different formats that we used.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Congrats on the
Yeah,
movie.
Thank you.
Thank
It's such
you.
an honor to meet
No,
you.
this is cool for me. Yeah, I get to geek out about this.